Hill's in love with her and said, I want to take you home with me to be my 13th wife or something like that. And, you know, it would have meant a whole new life, right? He was very, very wealthy, so that might have been somewhat tempting. I don't know. But she declined him and stayed on and continued the fight with her kids. So she picked up some great new skills when she became a single parent, and one of them I've mentioned previously that she played guitar. And I wanted to show you guys something that she wrote when I was about 7. Every evening she was down there in the living room playing on her guitar. So she wrote this song that made me sob and sob yesterday, but today I got it together. Okay, it goes like this, called Kids. And I can't sing. I didn't get that from her. But I'm going to try, so bear with me. Okay, it goes like this. Kids, I thank the Lord for giving me kids. I am not doing her justice. Kids, I thank the Lord for giving me kids. I know it was a privilege. He let me have my 4, but I'm kind of thankful I don't have any more. I love my kids. Sometimes they are problems that seem too much to bear. Other times they make you feel like pulling out your hair. You punish them real soundly and put them all to bed. Then around the corner there pops a little head and you hear, I'm sorry, Mommy, please don't be mad at me. I'm really sorry, I wrote on my TV. I love my kids. Just when you are feeling like throwing in the towel, they look at you real sweetly and make you wonder how. They can paint the dog with lipstick, track up your clean floor. You feel like you can't take it another minute more. Then you hear, I'm sorry, Mommy, can I love you for a while? You know it's worth it when you see that pleading smile. So, my brother, I told you Kevin, could not come here. And he said, I said, is there anything you want from the house? He said, I just want her songbooks, and you already have those. And I said, I don't have them. I don't know if she kept them. And I was so joyful being going through all of her things to find them. 3 songbooks that are just filled with her reflections on the world, you know. So that was wonderful. I'm not going to walk you through her whole life, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that I really admire about her. She was the first person in my family on either side, well, on her side, to set foot in a college classroom. So she joined the Air Force, and she discovered that, you know, there was an opportunity for her to write for the paper. Would you like to come in?
I'm sorry, I didn't want to
That's
interrupt.
okay.
Hello.
Hello. So even though she was raising 4 kids, 1 special needs, she was working 2 jobs almost always. She was an excellent bartender, by the way. And she was also, you know, doing her music. She still found time to write articles to submit to the base newspaper, and that's how she changed her life, besides joining the Air Force. So she would write articles about just whatever was going on, and pretty soon they brought her in and cross-trained her, sent her away to school so that she could become a military journalist. I followed in her footsteps. As soon as I graduated from high school, I went off to the same school she did for the military journalism because I admired her and respected her that much and was very proud. What I always call my mom is a find-a-way, make-a-way person. If there is a problem, my mom can find a solution to it. Sometimes it's an elegant solution, and sometimes it's just a solution. But she could always find a way or make a way to make something work. One of the great sadnesses of her life is that she was forced out of the military because of her kids. There was no one to sign to say they would take care of us if she was sent out to war. And I didn't even know the full story until I was reading her papers here the other day. But the Air Force, she had to get someone to sign, and she couldn't find anybody willing to take on 3 plus a special needs child. And so she forged my grandfather's name on the paperwork. Well, she got caught and she got disciplined. But they gave her another chance and said, we can keep you in the Air Force, but you have to have someone sign that paper. She couldn't find anyone, and she got booted. But it worked out in her favor, because then she got an even better job as a civilian person working for the military. So that was very nice. Okay. I'm going to tell you about Christy. That's my sister. And so you guys know that was the hardest thing my mom ever had to deal with, was that my sister was murdered. And my sister had a little boy of her own. So my sister was 20 years old, single parent, and it is really following much the pattern my mom had been in. She was in a relationship that she shouldn't have. She was in an abusive relationship, and she decided to get out of it, and she got rid of the guy, and then he took out his revenge on her. And my mom was so strong in just dealing with that. But you could, when you could talk with her about it, she wasn't. She was strong on the outside in many ways. She was strong on the outside, and she was hurting inside. There's one word that I associate a lot with my mom, and that's self-efficacy. If you haven't heard that term before, it means someone who it's the find a way, make a way thing. It's a person who believes that they can do anything. It's not just self-confidence, but it's a person who doesn't doubt their own ability to accomplish anything. And then the most wonderful part of my mom's life was meeting Mike. So some of you may know this and some of you may not, but my mom was married a few times. She was looking for Mr. Right, and she kissed a lot of frogs, and she told me, I kept saying, well, why do you keep getting married? And she said, well, I'm just looking for the right one. I said, you date them for a while and then you get married to them. But I wasn't very nice to Mike when Mom first introduced us, because Mom I had just been, down this road with her so much. And now I regret that, because if I had only seen what she saw in your relationship, I would have been bowing at your feet from the moment I met you. It really made my mom's life valuable, and she wanted nothing more but to have someone to love and to be loved, and for it to be real, and it was incredibly real for you folks. All right, she's back at the top of her game. And that's good news. That is the good news. And also through Mike was Power Quick and the coin project that gave her meaning and purpose in her professional life, gave her the opportunity to travel the world. And I couldn't be more thankful for that. It would give her something to be super proud of. I was going to talk about her creativity, but I think I've rambled on long enough, and I could talk about my mom for weeks. Frankly, I could. There are so many stories in the 45 years I've been with her, and I loved her, respected her so much. And I'm not the only one. I mean, my sisters and brothers, of course, did too. So we're very different, but she gave me a few things. She gave me resiliency, and she gave me her creativity in different ways, not jewelry ways, and resolve. And she gave me the ability to develop a vision for my life that then I can go out and implement. And my mom was really proud of me, and that makes me proud. There was one other thing I wanted to share with you guys. Two. One, when I was here last time and the time before, her hair was growing back, and one of the greatest treasures I will ever have is the memory of cutting it. Sitting out here and cutting her hair for her, because when I was little, she cut mine, and she permed it, and she put it in things, and she did that, so it was wonderful to have that experience with her. And then the other thing was Indian leg wrestling, because y'all saw my mom, she was small. She's always been small. But there's not a person in this room, or probably anywhere, who could beat my mom at Indian leg wrestling. If you don't know what it is, you have to look it up. But she taught us Indian leg wrestling from the time we were little, and I never beat her. So, again, she's at the top of her game today, and everything she ever was, that's what she is again.
Yeah. There's a couple of seats over here in the back row. Mike.
Thank you, Jude. June, Kathy's daughter, is the Public Affairs Officer for California Veterans Administration. She has had governor's appointments in the state of California and works very high up in California government. So honored to have you here. Thank you very much. I have just a few things. Kathy and I met almost 20 years ago, and we got married 3 days before my 50th birthday because she didn't want to marry an old man. So it's been a wonderful time, and I wanted to talk just a little bit about the final couple of months. She was informed last winter that all the chemo treatments that she could go through had been completed, and that she should get into a hospice program, which she did. And I think Dwight and I were talking that the first time was the 23rd of February that he was here. And she went through a time where she was kind of down. She didn't much get out of the chair that we had sitting here. But then about 2 weeks after Easter, June was here and Corinne was here, and they cooked up a trip to Oklahoma to visit with her family. And the changes there were pretty amazing. She took better care of herself, she took her medications on time, and she was focused on completing that trip. It was kind of a bucket list trip if you've seen the movie. And she did that, and we went there, we came back 5 days later. I was taking June to the airport, and I said, gee, that worked well. Why don't we set up another one? And we were on the phone to Corinne saying, let's get together, and Corinne said, let's get together on Sunday. And when I came back home, Jill was here, the nurse was here, and Kathy was in some amount of distress and had given her an injection, and Jill was asked to come over and sit with her because the nurse did not want to have her alone because she might fall. So thank you for that, Jill. And then the next day, Kathy was kind of up and around. Cheryl came by to visit, and she participated in a conversation with Panit. She was coughing somewhat, but she was still coherent, and she was talking reasonable sense regarding business decisions and so forth. And then the next day she was gone. So unlike many people that are severely ill, where they are confined to bed and kind of wither away over a long period of time, she was strong up to the end, and then was gone. I think she was very opposed to wearing diapers, not so much from the indignity of the diapers, but the symbology associated with that kind of lifestyle that she didn't want to have anything to do with. So anyway, Pastor, if you might take over again or have someone. Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to say?
I think I will.
Cheryl? Oh, I just want to thank my son Aaron and my daughter Jennifer for being here. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. As you know, most of you know, I'm Kathy's assistant. And, I had met her when I came here to clean, actually, to do her carpet.
Oh.
And it was through John's sister Ann. And we hit it off right away. And So that was one of the first things I remember with Kathy, and we had a lot of conversations. And then when the position came for Power Quick, I had talked with Ann, and then I spoke with Kathy, and I had an interview. And Kathy's seen in me something I didn't see in myself. I knew I was a good multitasker, but she says, I see me in you, and I knew you could do it. And, you know, I'm very grateful that she has given me that opportunity. And I respect her very much so. And the last conversation that we did have was we had gotten on the phone with Panit, and she still had her feathers ruffled, and she, you know, and then she said, you know, that she did wear herself out, but she was truly blessed to have been able to